Hey guys, today I want to go over some coaching tips for push-ups. So we commonly see flaws, in everybody that comes in that's new on just their push-up form. Some of them might have flared elbows, might go over extension, they might even jut their head forward. We all see these common issues. Usually it's chalked up to one major issue of just the setup and how they actually perceive the push-up. But there are several ways to actually fix it and address it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off and have Charlie do a couple perfect push-ups for us. Okay, so now a few key things. You'll notice that Charlie's hands are right below his shoulders, almost a little back behind. That's great because when he goes down into his good push-up, he's got a very vertical forearm and his arm's about 45 degrees from his body. He's also keeping a neutral spine. I don't care if it's a little extended or a little flexed, as long as it stays there, that's what I'm majorly happy about. Of course, I prefer neutral spine, but as long as there's no movement, that means he's keeping his core strong. Okay, and so now coming back to the actual arms, a lot of times, like I said, I like to coach around 45 degrees. It can be a little bit more and less as long as it's in that comfortable realm for the athlete. The problem we get is when they start to really flare. So we'll see a lot of athletes in with Charlie. Yep, so if you watch them flare, and Charlie's so used to doing good push-ups that this is uncomfortable for him, but come back up. A lot of times when they go to flare, they're actually driving their weight back. So they might start off in a very good position, but if you watch his body, go ahead and do it again. If you watch his actual torso, rather than going straight down, it sort of goes back. Sometimes they'll do like that. So the one cue that I'll constantly give them is I'll have them, all right, keep your shoulder in my hand the entire time for the push-up. And then when they go back down, that forces this position. Now, if someone has a very weak upper body, that's when they usually like to flare. So we might actually have to adjust by raising the push-up up. I always like to raise the push-up up rather than going on the knees, because when you go on the knees, you take the core out of it, and that's the main part of the push-up. So by just coaching that forward weight shift, it's going to force them to load the correct part of the shoulder, and it should give you the right angles, as long as the setup is right where you want it. The other problem you'll see, and sometimes these are the hardest to coach, is someone will set up wrong. So go ahead and set up for me, Charlie. They'll set up with their hands too far forward, and their legs too far back, and so you'll notice he's almost in a downward dog position, and a lot of people will try to do push-ups from there, and this is usually when you're going to get the people to go head forward, so go ahead, Charlie. So they might go like that, they might say push-ups hurt their shoulders. This will hurt your shoulders, but a push-up will not. So with that, I might coach them to scoot their feet forward some, and again, go right back in my hands and go there. Like I said, a lot of the people that are going to cheat are going to be the people that physically, their strength level might not be there. And then just off of that, we also have the people that stick their butt way up in the air. When they stick their butt way up there, it's the exact same thing. They're just trying to get their weight away from it. So the reason they do this is if we have Charlie go in push-up position, if we really look at the mechanism of this, the center of gravity should be right here. Since it's right in the center, and he's got these 4 pillars, that's going to cause the anterior core to usually be the limiting factor. And so a lot of people, that might, if the person isn't going to cheat because they don't have that, or because they actually have the upper body strength, but they don't have the core strength, these are the people that are just going to go into extension for their push-ups. So they might fall down, so go ahead and push up. And they might cape here, and then they come up. This will come up, and then low back, like that. We want everything to be solid, so again, this might be their limiting factor. By keeping their shoulders in the right spot, we're going to actually make sure that we can see that this is their limiting factor. Like I said, since this is the center of gravity, this is the thing that's going to take all the load. This is where a lot of the force transmissions are going to be. So if someone's having trouble here, you have 2 options. Either 1, just work on this position, have them hold this, have them actually shrink their anterior core. Or 2, raise it up. So just raise up the push-up. Okay. So give these a try. Just by correcting that weight shift of the push-up, you should be able to eliminate 90% of the issue. And then after going from that,